Take a look at that. All the colors there. It's very bright too. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the coolermaster MM712 wireless gaming mouse in matte black. I did receive this sample from coolermaster, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this gaming mouse or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. This is available in black or white. Check out that retail box and packaging. Everything looks so nice. So this has an adjustable DPI up to 19,000. That is just insane to me. It weighs 58 grams, so it's very lightweight. And this has a hybrid design. We can use USB cable, connect it to a 2.4 gigahertz wireless network with the mouse, or Bluetooth as well. Ultraweave cable, superior mouse glide with the base. We'll look at that material. And then we have the MasterPlus software customization that we'll also check out in this video. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our user guide and manual. Check this out. Nice overview of all the buttons and controls, what's included in the box. Wireless setup with the different configuration options. Do you want to use the dongle with Wi-Fi? Do you want to use the USB cable or Bluetooth connection? Some additional product information and tech specs on the back of the guide for you. Next, we have our pads that we can adjust and use depending on the glide that we want. They give us a nice wipe too to clean it down for proper adhesion. So a couple customization options there. Here's our really nice braided USB type A to USB type C cable. We have a USB type C to USB type A adapter. And lastly, we have the mouse itself. Holy smokes, this thing is so lightweight. Look at that. Looks great. Nice matte black finish. Our buttons and controls on the side, the top. Good rubbery scroll wheel. I like the clicky feedback. Take a look at the other side. There's our USB type C right there. Here's the very bottom with our MM712 branding. We have our little toggle switch for the different modes, pairing button, our sensor, and then we can pop this out. It's kind of spring loaded, and we have our USB right there. So interesting, but kind of spring loaded if you want to use the dongle. If not, you can just store it right there. Now let's go ahead and let's plug this in and check it out within the MasterPlus software. So we're in the MasterPlus software right here where we can select our MM712. This is going to be your main page right here where we can browse all of these different tabs to really customize and configure our mouse. So the first tab we're in is the wireless tab. We have our battery indicator right there. I do wish this was a percentage and we had a way to change that, but it's still cool. We get a visual indicator. This is right out of the box. So for us, it's about 3/4 of the way charged. On this first page, we have our sleep mode settings. So we can adjust when it goes to sleep in wireless mode. And then we have our low power mode settings also for wireless mode. So we can tweak those or reset to defaults. Next, let's look at all of our buttons and control options here. So we have a lot of different buttons to configure, as well as a combo button that we can enable or disable. If you want to have the combo button enabled, this is what it's going to allow you to do. You can add a secondary function to the button when basically you're pressing the click wheel and the customizable button. So that's really cool. If you want to enable or disable that, you can right there. You can also change the view on the mouse, so we can adjust the buttons on the bottom. So let's start with the top right here. So our scroll, you get the idea. Look what we can change. All the different settings here, macros, multimedia, rapid fire, different profiles, our DPI levels, sensor on and off. Same right here. And then for our clicks, it's going to be the same, right? So all the different settings, we can pick and choose whatever we want here for all the different buttons. Nothing's off limit, it appears, for either, or any of the buttons, I should say. It's got the same options. I'm happy with the defaults right now. That's exactly what I want. And then let's go ahead, let's change view. Here's the bottom side, our DPI cycle. Again, what do you want it to be? Whatever you want, you could do that right here, which is pretty cool. So that's our one button on the bottom. I really like the view. And then we have our mouse combo. So do you want to enable or disable any of these? Same thing. That really gives us that many more options to customize and that much more control right at our fingertips, literally, right, with this mouse. I also want to point out, I'm really enjoying using it already. It's comfortable, it's lightweight, easy to have in your hand, and without even swapping or modifying the current default pads right there, it's doing a good job. We're also using a coolermaster mouse pad, so that's probably why, right? But anyway, so that's our buttons. A lot of customization options. Next, let's look at performance. This can get a little bit overwhelming, but we have our sensitivity adjustments right here. All of our DPI values from 400 to 19,000. USB polling rate. Angle snapping if you want that on or off. And lift distance, you can adjust that low or high. But let me tell you, high is just barely off the surface. We can get it to move just a smidge. The mouse isn't touching the pad technically. Now I have it set down on it. So when I do low, I can't get it to move until it's sitting down. But that's cool that we can tweak that. Our sensitivity settings. All of this is just stuff you have to tweak on your own. Start with what they have and then just make slight adjustments up or down. Again, click speed, left and right button response time. This is cool too. We can actually tune to different surfaces. So default surface, or we can add a new surface. How cool is this? So say maybe you're gaming or using this mouse in different environments. Maybe even per game you have a different surface you want to use. You can add them right here. Just follow the prompts on screen to set that up. So cool. Can't forget about lighting. So let's go ahead, let's turn off the studio lights and look at this in more detail. So in the lighting tab, we have our color options here, and we also have our different modes. So currently, the coolermaster logo is lit up in our static coolermaster purple, but let's change it to our breathing mode, right? It's taking the breaths, it's pulsing, and then we can cycle the colors. Or hey, we don't want any light on, we can turn it off, but that's not what we like to do. So let's go back to our breathing mode. You may notice now we have our speed. So say that's too fast for you. You want to slow it down. You can slow it down right there. Or maybe it's not fast enough, right? You want to go rapid fire. Same for our color cycle. Let's slow it down some. Or let's speed it up. And depending on the effect, none of these are going to have it, but depending on your coolermaster product, you can also adjust the direction sometime, like if it's a keyboard or things like that. You may have that feature available as well. But the colors look really nice. We'll continue to cycle through them. Just do the default speed here. But take a look at that. All the colors there. It's very bright too. It's cool. I love that we have just a nice touch on this. Obviously, your hand's going to be blocking the light most of the time, but it's still a cool feature. I do wish maybe they'd make the scroll wheel light up too on this one. Nothing else illuminates on the mouse, just the logo. And it looks really nice. Next tab we have is the macros tab here, where we can enter the name for our macro, record our actions, adjust any sort of delay settings if we want it to loop. You get the idea, but we can set that all up right here. And then again, go back to your buttons. Maybe you want to add one of your macros here, then you'll be able to do that. It'll populate and you can configure your mouse that way. So that's where you want to do all of your macros. You can import or export right there. And then lastly, we have our profiles tab. So you can have up to 5 different profiles saved, maybe for different users. Like I said, maybe you have a different profile for each game you're playing, a campaign you're working at. So a lot of options there to import or export, rename, reset. You get the idea. So select your profile, configure it however you want, and you got 5 profiles right there all set and ready to go. So very capable software for a very, very high performance and capable gaming mouse.